Be me 30, dude. Life's finally lining up. The way you always hope it will propose to my girlfriend of 3 years. Genuinely thought I was locking in. My forever person, she says yes, instantly. Like no hesitation, no, let me think, just immediate yes. Greater than the first week after the ring, she's already in project manager mode. Greater than talking combining finances the right way. Greater than talking how we'll attack her student loans together, like a squad. Greater than what kind of house we can afford in a decent suburb. Greater than which neighborhoods have the best long-term RO. Greater than, she talks about other stuff too. Sure, greater than. But money is always floating behind the conversation. Like background music, greater than engaged about a year, greater than first 6 months, are smooth. Greater than then I get blindsided. Greater than company-wide meeting, one of those cold HR voices. Greater than IT firm announces massive layoffs. Greater than the kind where you already know your name is in a spreadsheet somewhere. Greater than, yep, greater than I'm on the list. Greater than role eliminated. Greater than pack your desk. Good luck. Greater than start applying immediately. Greater than dozens of applications a week. Greater than rewriting my resume over and over. Greater than tailoring cover letters like a clown. Greater than interviews that feel promising. Greater than then, nothing greater than ghosted. Greater than, we went with another candidate. Greater than the wedding gets postponed about 6 months into the engagement. Greater than because suddenly, I don't have stable income. Greater than I take a job at a sandwich shop, greater than not. Because I love it, greater than because rent doesn't care about my pride, greater than I swallow it without making a big speech, greater than just clock in and keep money coming in. Even if it's small, greater than. And every night after shifts, I'm back on the laptop, applying to IT roles, greater than in my head. This is responsible, greater than temporary downgrade for long-term stability, greater than resilience over ego, greater than she does not see it that way, greater than she's embarrassed, greater than hates telling people where I work, now greater than starts making jokes that aren't really jokes, greater than went from cybersecurity to cold cuts, greater than laughing too loud in front of friends, greater than scanning the room to see who else is laughing, greater than comparing me to my buddies who kept their jobs, greater than, like, I'm not already painfully aware, greater than one night, she literally calculates it, greater than in bed, phone calculator out, greater than tapping numbers, like she's doing taxes, greater than shows me how much income we lost since the layoff, greater than holds up the screen like it's an invoice I owe her, greater than her parents are huge on titles and prestige, greater than always have been, greater than in their world, status equals value, greater than we used to talk about how we'd never do that to our future kids, greater than how we'd choose happiness over salary, greater than funny, how that promise evaporates when the pressure hits, greater than I can see the pressure on her greater than. But pressure doesn't justify disrespect, greater than she takes little digs whenever she can, greater than, especially around other people, greater than, because she knows I'm not going to explode in public and prove her point, greater than one night. We're in bed, greater than she's doom scrolling, half asleep, greater than I glance at her phone and see a calendar alert, greater than decision day, in bold, greater than scheduled for tomorrow, greater than I ask casually, like it's nothing. What's that? She hesitates, tries to shrug it off, then sighs like she's tired of carrying everything. And she says it straight face. She planned to break up with me if I didn't get a real job by tomorrow. Like love has a due date. Like I'm a subscription she can cancel. And something in me just cools greater than not even anger first. Greater than just clarity. Greater than she doesn't love me. Greater than she loves momentum. Greater than she loves the lifestyle trajectory. Greater than I'm just the engine that stalled. Greater than I nod. Greater than, yeah. Maybe we should break up then. Her eyes go wide, like I flash-banged her with her own plan. She clearly expected begging, promises, panic. Instead, I give her calm acceptance. She goes, "You know you won't find another girl like me, right?" I tell her, "I really hope I don't." Then she unloads as goes for every insecurity she can reach. Hour of back and forth that turns into yelling. Stuff said that doesn't come back. She storms off to her parents' place. Relationship ends ugly and loud. Then the ring fight starts. She tries to argue. She doesn't have to return it. Technically, she doesn't owe it back. Her parents eventually force her to hand it over anyway. I sell it. Use the money to cover a couple months of rent. Imagine that. Sandwich shop paychecks and a diamond financing my reset. I have a short pity phase. Start smoking again after quitting for years. Realize I'm self-destructing over someone who only liked me when I was useful. Snap out of it slowly. Decide she's not getting that much control over my life. Then she shows up at my job one afternoon, unannounced, says she was in the area, visiting her parents, orders a sub, like nothing happened, like we're just two strangers in line. I don't make it. I wave a coworker over and let them handle it. She lingers at the counter a little too long, like she expects me to look embarrassed, like she wants to see me small. I give her nothing. A few months later, I finally land an IT job again. Better pay than my old one. Hybrid schedule, actual flexibility, managers who treat me like an adult, clear path to grow. It feels like oxygen comes back into my lungs. And I have a petty moment. I type out a long message telling her about the new job, rewrite it 3 times, trying to make it sound casual while still twisting the knife, hit send, regret it the next morning, but it's already delivered. She doesn't reply for 3 days. Then suddenly she asks if I want to meet up. Timing feels calculated. I agree anyway. Because if I'm going to be petty, might as well do it in person. She comes over to my place, our old place. She walks in like the walls still belong to her. She's quieter now, less sharp. I ask, "What's wrong? No games?" Eventually she says, her dad is sick, can't work anymore. She's supporting her parents financially now. And I actually do feel bad, greater than I always liked her. Dad greater than he was one of the few people in her life who treated me like a person. Greater than I offer to visit, greater than offer help before I even think it through. Greater than she starts talking about bills piling up, greater than how her parents didn't save enough, greater than how she feels overwhelmed and alone. The conversation softens. We end up reminiscing. Old trips, inside jokes, the easier version of us before layoffs and pride and deadlines. She tears up. I hug her without thinking too hard, and the familiarity does what it does. Chemistry sneaks back in. Next thing I know, we end up sleeping together, greater than nostalgic in the worst way, greater than afterward. We're talking quietly, greater than she says. Maybe we ended things too fast, greater than says. It feels right. Being close again, greater than I'm hesitant but foggy. Greater than emotions mixed with muscle memory. Greater than, then she keeps going. Greater than says stability would mean everything. Right now, greater than says her family would finally relax. Greater than, then she drops it. Greater than says her dad would love to see us back together. Greater than says it would take pressure off everyone. Greater than, and the clarity hits like cold water. Greater than, this isn't romance. Greater than this isn't love. Greater than, she doesn't miss me. Greater than she misses the security. Greater than she misses the paycheck attached to my name. Greater than I sit up. Greater than fully awake. Greater than, tell her we're not getting back together. Greater than she freezes for half a second. Greater than then flips the story immediately. Greater than now. I used her. Greater than now. I'm the bad guy. Greater than, you slept with me, knowing you wouldn't take me back. Greater than I tell her I didn't realize this was a financial pitch disguised as nostalgia. Greater than I tell her it sounds like she wants a co-signer. Not a partner, greater than she storms out, furious, greater than blocks me everywhere that night. Greater than, and honestly greater than. I feel lighter than I have in a year. Greater than, because if I never got laid off, greater than I would have married someone who loved the lifestyle more than the man. Greater than I do hope her dad gets better. Greater than, but it's not hard to remember how she treated me when I